Alright, so today we are taking a peek at the, excuse me while I make it active, taking a look at the Geckoplex by Gecko Pedals and comparing it to the wonderful whirling sounds of the full tone tube tape Echo. So I've got this pedal on loan and I really wanted to shoot it out against my tape Echo to see, can a pedal actually sound as good as a real tube tape Echo. So gonna go through a couple of the features and the ideas of the Geckoplex real fast. So on a very basic level, the Geckoplex has a preamp built that you can add gain. It's got a ton of features. You can see the user manual here. I'm not going to go through all of that. So going into the pedal, there is a preamp that is defeatable if you want. If you don't want, it can stay on even when you disengage the echo effect. I like to keep the preamp on because that's part of why I like a tape echo. So then you've got volume of repeats, number of repeats, the tone of the repeats. You've also got a built-in reverb that for the purposes of this demo we're leaving off. You've got a warp, which the warp knob adjusts the amount. It's a combination to add age and mechanical defect to the delay, like a real tape machine would as it's aging. And then there's a shift knob. The shift knob actually adds a either slide into or out of the note as if you were moving the delay slider while you played. I keep that pretty much centered a little off to the sides. There are some other really great demos where that's used to great effect. If you go over and watch Ryan's demo of this pedal on demos in the dark, he does a really good job of showing what that does. Additionally, there's a tap tempo. There is a subdivision switch. There is a trails on or off so that the trails will continue when you turn the pedal off. And then you've got some presets. It also has built-in MIDI. We're not going to get into any of that. I want to know what it sounds like. So here is the bypassed tone, but with the preamp still engaged. I'm using I realize that this is not a typical demo guitar. This is a Grez Mendocino baritone, but I really love this guitar, and so this is what I'm using for this demo. Here is the tone of the full tone tube tape echo with the effect defeated, but also going into the preamp. Alright, so I'm going to turn on the tube tape echo, and this is what, give you a few sounds of the repeats. flip on the Geckoplex and swap. So now you have you can use the JHS switchback to tell which one I'm on at any given moment. Green is going to be the tube tape echo. Red is going to be the Geckoplex. So we're going to get them as similar as we can. That's pretty stinking similar. So So the reason I chose this sound as my first demo sound is because this is my favorite. This is what I typically use on the tube tape echo as my delay. It's a little understated. It sits underneath the mix. Alright, so I wanted to mimic that with the Geckoplex. All right. I'm pretty happy. I think that sounds really, really similar. I think the nuances that are different aren't necessarily a better or worse. They're just a slightly different. So let's try to do something a little different. Let's try to get to a we're going to get to a slapback style tone. Let's see, we're close. All right, so let's see if we can mimic that with the Geckoplex. Ooh, sorry. Ah, so lost it there, but that's okay. You get the idea. Sorry, I keep unplugging my guitar. Alright, so I think that's a pretty similar tone. Alright, let's switch the tube tape echo. We're going to go to the longest possible delay. This is the longest delay time. Alright, we're going to go to the longest on the Geckoplex. So it's really similar. Actually, there is a way to get a longer delay time out of the Geckoplex, but for the purposes of this demo, I wanted to keep them very similar and not shift a lot of the features. So that ages a little more. So you turn up the warp knob on the Geckoplex to get a little more age out of it. Perfect. So all in all, I'm really impressed with the Geckoplex. Again, it does a whole lot more. It does MIDI. It does expression pedal in. You can control some parameters. It's got presets. I didn't even talk about the motorized fader. As you change tempos, it moves, which Chase Bliss has proven that we all love motorized faders. So yeah, I'm going to shoot these out a little more on my own. I wanted to go ahead and get this a quick live out as I'm trying to tinker with these and learn what they're doing. What do you think? Which do you think sounded better? Do you think there's a clear winner? Do you think they're pretty similar sounding? I'm really interested to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. Remember to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast as well. And we'll see you on the next live or the next podcast. And be good to yourselves, be kind to each other, and make some noise.